Hello, Brother Sewing and Crafting family. Angela Wolf here, and I'm so excited to see you. Did you miss us last week? Just a little mini vacation we all took. So now we are back on track, and we have a lot to share with you. This week, we have some excellent shows. Starting today, we've got Barbara Jones and we have Joanne Banko. So not only do you get a project, what's the free design of the month? I can't wait to see it. So say hi, say where you're from. We're live streaming on Brother Sewing YouTube and Facebook pages. We can see your comments, and grab some tea, a notepad, and we'll be right back. Hello, hello. Hi, everyone.
Hello. Good to see all of you.
I know, it's great. Summer is here. We have some fabulous projects today for everyone. And Joanne, you're going to be showing us the free design of the month, which is going to be very cool as well.
That's always fun and exciting too.
And we see everybody rolling in here. So we're going to start with Barbara. She's got a great project for you. Wait to see this embroidery design. And then Joanne will be joining us at the end. So be sure to leave your comments and questions because we'll take breaks for those too. So Joanne, see you shortly.
Okay, I'll be hanging out.
Okay. All right. Barbara, I cannot wait to see this. I saw a little glimpse of what you're working on, but why don't you share with everyone?
Okay. Here in New Jersey, we have a new law that's been instituted that our grocery stores, our fabric stores, our, even our hardware stores, they can't give out any more plastic or paper bags. So we are bagless. I think Pennsylvania is shortly to have that same law enacted. And I think there's a few other states that also have it as well. So I was asked to recycle something. So I figured, well, I've got a lot of canvas bags. I don't know about you, but when I go to craft shows or I get a canvas bag, I used to work for a pharmaceutical company and we gave out canvas bags with the drug, the new introductory drug, name on it. And I probably have 6 or so of these left. That's over 20 years ago. I don't throw anything out, Joanne or Angela. Nothing goes out. So I dug them out and I thought, all right, what am I going to do with, how do I cover up that name or that, item, that's printed on the front. I also had some from our Cape May area down the shore. You're in the mood and you buy a bag. Okay, well, that gets old too. So I figured, all right, let's do some creative thinking here. So I have some upholstery fabric, old upholstery fabric hanging around that I took a look at and I thought, big, nice, floppy flowers. Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah. Really, really nice, big flowers. That'll cover something up, right? So, okay, anyway, so I thought, all right, I've got my scan and cut and I've got my design center and all right, let's see what we got. Well, when I was digging through the fabric, I also came across an old piece. I mean, it's not old, but I mean, it's not something I would wear anymore. And I don't know what I was thinking when I bought it, but it was, one of those things. But I also had a print that had butterflies on it. So this is also a knit. So I'm going from upholstery fabric to a knit fabric. I'm thinking, okay. All right. So this has stretch to it where the upholstery fabric is thick and it doesn't have stretch. So, all right. So I put my thinking cap on and one of the bags that was from the pharmaceutical company I used to work with, I cut out on the scan and cut the butterfly. But what I did was I stabilized it first with the applique contact sheet. So I ironed the contact sheet on the back of it, and then I cut out the butterfly on the scan and cut. and I had to cut the little ones out by hand because they were, the little guys here, they would fall apart because they had nothing connecting them. So I had to cut those out by hand. And then I took it to my design center, and I actually got one of the designs that's in the shapes, and I embroidered on top of the butterfly and all around. And the name of the drug was up under here, so that's nicely covered. And I took it to the back and did a little more on the back.
All of that from that butterfly fabric.
Yes. Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And, you combine the embroidery with the applique, and you've got a new bag. So
I love that idea. And you're right. I'm just thinking right now in my back room, I think I have at least a dozen bags from going, to the Quilt Fest, to other shows, or maybe when people give gifts. And I never throw them away either because they're too nice.
Exactly. They're sturdy and they're great. I also had, I have a 2-year-old puppy, and anything that falls on the floor, she gets, even though she's 2. Well, this had a dome on it. It was the hat. It had a dome on it. So I now have
a hatless hat.
A domeless hat. But I was able to save it with the same thing. And I embroidered on the straw too, which you can also do. So the embroidery goes right through the straw.
That's awesome. So I don't know. Do we need the machine to do the embroidery or the dog to chew up the top? So
I know.
We should be fine.
That's fun. So I also took, and we're going to start with the upholstery fabric first, but I just wanted to mention also my connection with the Scan and Cut and the XP, or the Luminaire. You can take a design that's in the Luminaire, which I did with this bag, and you can actually substitute fabric for the stitching. So there's real heavy stitching in here and in the leaves. And I actually substituted, I went through the whole process of turning the stitches into an applique, taking it to my design, to a Scan and Cut, and cutting the fabric out and laying it down. It actually puts the applique steps in the process when you're stitching out the design. And I also, when I stitched out this to begin with, some of the edges didn't catch because this is not meant for an applique really. So the, where is it? The satin stitch was really fine. So what I did was I took it back into my design center and I outlined everything and then made it a heavier satin stitch. So everything is really held down quite nicely.
Oh, that's beautiful. That's absolutely beautiful. I would take any of those bags all day long.
Okay. All right. So the one with the upholstery fabric, this is what it looked like, or this is how it turned out. I also added some embroidery on top, which is in the middle. And I thought, I can't really see that a whole lot. It's there, but it's not very noticeable. So then I went to the shapes and I got some more of the shapes that are in my design center and added that to the outline, plus the blanket stitch all around the outside to hold it down securely. So it really is, it's on there and it's not going anywhere. Okay.
That looks good.
It came out better than I thought. This was the one that had Cape May on it.
Oh, so, nice.
Yes.
Beautiful.
So we covered up the Cape May and we appliqued that one down. So I think what I'll do is start with the upholstery fabric, and I have on my machine, I have the piece already ironed down to it, and take it into my design center and show you how I did the blanket stitch around the outside. Okay.
I think that sounds wonderful.
All right. So
you want to see how to make this, because this is very cool. And there's so many different techniques here as well. So she's going to be using the Luminaire, which many of you have seen, but I'll put a little link below because there's a really good deal right now with dealers too. So go ahead, Barbara.
Okay. All righty. So I'm at the screen of my machine, and I can pull out just a little bit, I think. No, I think that's good. I want to catch some of the, how I do the stitching around the outside of the flower. So we're going to go into my design center. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to scan, which is up here in the, and I just can't, there we go. It's up here in the top. So I'm going to scan what I have in my hoop. And I have my bag securely in the hoop. You can either hoop the bag, or you can pin it down, or you can stick it down with a spray adhesive or a glue stick, or use a spray or a adhesive stabilizer, either one, whatever you prefer. And I'm going to scan. So I'm going to do the image scan on my machine because I just want a background. I don't want anything more than just the background. If I were doing something I wanted to fill in, I would do the line design, or if I had a colored drawing, I would then do the illustration design. But we're going to scan the image. So we're going to touch scan, and the image will move. Now, I've already scanned this to save a little bit of time. So what's nice about when you've scanned it and you haven't moved it, you can go right here to the machine, and there's my scan already saved. And all I do is choose it, say set, and there's my image. All right, I'm going to darken it just a little bit so we can see what we're doing. All right, so there's my image. It's the same image that I have in my hoop. All right, I did have to open up these bags because they, of course, will not fit too good on the hoop unless they're flat. So we do have to open them up a little bit. All right, so any questions?
Nope,
No?
I'm monitoring those right now. Everybody's saying
Okay.
this is very cool.
Okay. So I think I want to put a blanket stitch around here. I could put a satin stitch. I could put any kind of stitch that I have in my my line properties, but I think a blanket stitch is going to be just what I want. Now, the easiest thing to do is to draw an outline around here, but I'm not going to just draw it freehand because I can't continually have either my stylus or, by hand, or my mouse, and go around everything at the same time without lifting up my pen or my mouse. And when I stop, then I would have to connect it again. And it's kind of tough to get it right in the same spot that you left off. So my favorite, if you go up here to the parameters or the properties, you have 4 choices here, and it's just, let me just move the camera up a tad.
There, that's perfect.
That's good. Okay.
Yep.
All right. So you've got 4 choices. It's slipped back down again. All right. We're going to do that. All right. So you have your line where you can scribble and you can write your name, and you can do anything with this line. And you have a closed line. So if you wanted to draw something and have it close when you lifted your pen or the mouse, this would be the line that you choose. Or if you wanted several straight lines, if you were drawing a plaid, or you were drawing, I had a panel that had spokes in an umbrella. Well, I put the spokes in with the straight line because it gave me perfect straight lines. But this is my line of choice most of the time, even though it looks like a lightning bolt, and it looks like, I don't know whether you can, let me just see if I can pull it in a little bit. There we go. It looks like a lightning bolt. Looks like a lot of straight lines, but that's not exactly what happens when you choose it and you work with it. And that's what I wanted to show today. So we're going to choose that. And let me just, there we go. The color is okay. I don't care. And at this point, I'm not going to change the outline. I'm just going to change the color to, let's do a bright red so we can see it. And we'll touch OK. Now, you'll notice that I haven't gotten the entire flower in the picture. I'm going to do this in 2 sections. And I also have a secondary flower that I'm going to put down this one sort of on the bottom part of the bag. So, me and my artistic, I can't have anything plopped in the center. I always have to do something a little odd. So I'm going to do half of this with the tack down, and then I'm going to move it over and do the other half secondarily. And then I'll put this, the second flower on and work with that. So you kind of do it in stages, and it's more fun when you have, you can add and subtract. You can do anything you want. So we're going to start, and I'm going to start down here in the corner. Can everybody see? Let me get a little closer, because I really do want you to see what I'm doing when let me just pull this back up a little bit. There we go. Okay. When I use this connected line. So I'm going to start in the corner here, and I'm going to click and draw up, and then click. And every time I click, it takes me a little further. Let me see if I can lighten this a little bit. Yep, there we go. And I'm going to pull it in even more. Okay. So I'm clicking around, but you see, I can lift my mouse and move it anywhere, but every time I click, it puts another line down. Do you see that? I can click, click.
Yeah.
But I want to go around my flower with the outline. So I'm going to click around the outline. The shorter the click, the more curved you can get. So if I wanted a really curved area in here, I would make it very, very short clicks. When I'm on a straightaway, like down here, I can go straight, or I can kind of make it a third of the way and then another third and another third, so I can get all the way around. But I don't have to worry about picking my mouse up or my pen up and not starting right where I left off. You can actually draw a circle with this choice of line property. So I'm going to click all the way around. See how easy that is, really?
Yeah, so basically as quickly as you can make, or as short you can make those little dots, that's how you're making this beautiful curve. And when you look at that line, it does not look like it could do this. So this is a great tutorial.
Exactly. When you look at the choice in your properties, it doesn't look like it could be a round, line, but the shorter the distance between the clicks or the dots, you can actually draw a circle. So I was doing a panel with Tinkerbell, and she had a bow in her hair, and I wanted the bow to be a candlewick stitch, but it had, of course, the bow was round at the outside of the area here. So I just clicked around it with short little clicks, and you would never know that I was drawing with a straight line.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I see somebody asking, no, she's using a mouse. You could use your finger to do all of this, or you could use the stylus, but she's using a mouse attached to the side, the luminaire.
Yeah, for several reasons. I don't like that one. So you just back up until you get to the one where you did like it, and then continue on. I'm using the mouse. I don't like that one either. I'm using the mouse for several reasons. One is that my hand is not in the way. Okay, so if I were trying to draw on the screen, my hand would be in the way, so you couldn't see what I was doing. But I find the other advantage to using the mouse is when you have your magnifying lens on, you can actually move. And let me pull out here. You see the bars that show up here? You can actually move that so much easier with a mouse than you can with your finger or with the stylus, because your finger's fat and kind of gets in the way. Sometimes you're touching the screen rather than the bar. It's just easier to move with a mouse. So you can see really now.
What's the size of that screen? That's huge. I see a lot of people. I know a lot of people don't have the Luminaire, but I saw somebody asking. That looks like it does. It kind of looks like a tablet.
10. Yes, it is. It's 10.1. What do they call it? Inches? Millimeters? Inches? Inches.
Nice.
It is big. But you can see how I lost you here. Let me bring it back up. See, I can move it down. There we go. And I'll move it over for a little bit. Oh, wrong way. There we go. So now I'm just clicking. I continue to click around. And by magnifying it, I can really see exactly the edge of that fabric. Now, most of the time I would make it a little bit darker so I can see, but I did want you to see how that curve happened?
Wow.
It really is very easy to do with this connected line. And on this big straightaway here, I can just click down here and I've got a straightaway. So it's really very, very cool. All right, I'm going to pull the camera back out a little bit. Now I have already done this, so I'm going to clear all. I'm going to go back in and get my screen image. Now remember, I can go back to my machine and pull up the last screen image. It only saves the last image, so it doesn't save 6 of them or 9 of them. It only saves the last scanned image that you had. And press set. Brings my image back up. And I saved this before, so I'm going to go into my pocket right up here at the top. And I'm going to get the saved image. Because I really took a little bit of time, to go all the way around to where I wanted to be. Okay. And I saved it on my stick, my USB stick, in the B pocket. And here's my saved image right there. And I'm going to ask it or say, okay, and bring it up. Now it's a little hard to see, but let me make make the image go away. But there's the outline that I did prior to this. How many times have people said, I can't see my scanned image, can't see it? Well, if you take it all the way to the end of the lightness, your image totally goes away. So it disappears. So one click over and you got your image back. I can't tell you how many times I've done that, just fiddling around and, oh, where's my image? Or if you take it so that it's so dark, you can't see where you've drawn because that disappears. So somewhere in the middle is a happy medium. We'll leave it this way because I do want you to see what happens when I go into the settings of this and pick out what I want to use on the outer edges of my flower. So we're going to go to next, down here at the bottom, and it's a little hard to see, and I've got it set up so you can see, but at the bottom, let me just do it here. Oh, come on. There we go. At the bottom. Sorry about making people seasick here. At the bottom.
We're all good.
Yeah,
and then I have a couple questions.
We're probably all used to it at this point, right? At the bottom is next. And that's what you want to choose. And this gives you, and I'm going to close your eyes. I'm just going to set the camera back level. Okay. So in here, let me pull in a little bit. Oh, no, I've tipped it. There we go. You have your length of your blanket stitch. You have your width of your blanket stitch and how many times you want that blanket stitch to stitch the piece that goes inside to hold everything down. And then if I wanted to convert it, I could say, all right, instead of going inside, maybe I wanted it to go outside. So that flips the blanket stitch. That looks a little funny, I think. So we'll leave it the other way around. When I first brought this in, I had said I wanted a satin stitch, and this is what the satin stitch looked like. But I thought that, this is a raw edge kind of a cutout, I guess, and especially with upholstery fabric being so loosely woven. I figured, okay, let's highlight the little phrase that happened on the raw edge. So I changed it to the blanket stitch. But let's take a look at how on the other one that I did, that I made the satin stitch really wide. So I can change that right here, and I can make the width of the satin stitch, I think I took it up to 200. And you'll see how wide that satin stitch really does go. So if you need to cover up something, you can do that easily by putting it, scanning it, and outlining.
That's really cool. By the way, as I'm reading the comments, a lot of people here are really appreciative of this showing My Design Center, because I see a few people that have the machine that they've said they never tried it. Somebody scanned in their image, didn't know how to find it back. So this is why these tutorials are amazing. But I do have a quick question for you, Barbara. Vicki had 2 questions. First, she wanted to know, how far did you open that canvas bag to get it on there? Was it anything special?
No, I just took it down to, where the pleat, where it starts to do the box bottom.
Okay, yes.
So I took it down to right there.
Okay.
Just so I could lay it flat.
Perfect. And then, so Vicki, I didn't bring up your first one, but I read it, but it was a few comments back. And she said, how did you end the connected line? Does it stay connected to the starting point, or how does that work?
That's a great question. If I had gone all the way around and I had come back up to here, it would automatically knit it back together. It would just say, okay, I'm a connected line. Because I didn't want to do that and I wanted to end it down here, what I did, and let me go back out to the settings area. Let me just turn the camera a little bit there. You just have to click off somewhere, and it didn't matter, where it was. So let's take this and let's start here in the center. Now, if I went right back here, it would connect. So if I go back to the beginning, it automatically connects. But supposing I don't want this area in here to be stitched, all I did was I clicked off onto the bucket or the paintbrush, doesn't matter, and I have clicked off and said, that's it, that's all I want. And now I have my area that is just an open area, just like I did here for the flower. Okay, so you just have to click off of it someplace else other than the line properties.
So
does
just
that make sense?
It does make sense. And just another quick question for you. I know this is in My Design Center, and My Design Center is in other machines. This is the Luminaire. My Design Center you'll find in the Stellaire, Dream Machine, to name a few. But as the machines progressed, they might have a few extra items in there. So I see somebody asking, will this work on my Dream Machine? Yes.
Yes.
But not everything. So like there's extra things in the Luminaires, but you can do most of this. So try it. Give it a try.
What I have done so far, you can do in the Dream Machine and the Stellaire.
Okay, perfect.
No issues there. The items that might not be, that there's just extra decorative fills in the Luminaire. There's in the settings. So I'm going to go back here. Let's get rid of what I just did. So I'm going to go down to the bottom of and again, down at the bottom, there's a dotted square and it brings up a menu. Let me just see. Again, I apologize, but I do want you to see this.
We don't mind.
Okay, see the menu here? This is a great tool. Now on the Dream and the Stellaire, I think that you only get these 3. I can't remember. There are not all 5 of them there. You may get this one and the magic wand, or you may get these 3. I'm not sure. But this is a square. If I wanted to take out that centerpiece that I put in there, I would just touch the square and then encompass the entire, and here we go again with the camera. I just want to highlight what I just put in there as an example, and I want to get rid of that with my scissors. So I would go down here and just click, and it would disappear.
Okay.
If it was a difficult area and I couldn't get in with a square box, I could go in with the next one and go in here and actually, just like I was doing with the connected line, I could go in here and go directly around and choose just what I wanted to delete.
Okay.
Okay. So that's that one. If I just wanted to draw a circle or a line around someplace, I could just go around. Supposing it's a really haphazard area that I need to get into, I can draw all the way around that and capture anything that's within my drawing circle or my drawing line. Okay. Magic wand for the Luminaire owners, and I really don't remember if it's on the Dream or the Stellaire. I'm sorry. All I do is, if I want that gone, I touch the line and it automatically chooses that line. Now, if that line is connected to something else, then I would be choosing that something else as well. Okay, so you can only do it with isolated items. Okay, so this one, the last one, selects everything. So everything on my screen I can get rid of all at one time. And I could have done that before when I wanted to get rid of what I had been doing to show you the line drawing. But I love this little box down here. And I can't, again, with the camera. This is the box right here.
Mm-hmm.
This is a dotted box, and that's where you get the, I call it your select tools. Okay.
Wonderful.
Yes. Okay. So I do want to come in here and I want to get rid of this. So I'm just going to go in here and take my square, and I could do the magic wand too, but I just want to get rid of that particular one because I don't want that in my flower at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to close that. So that's gone. And now I'm going to go over to my next to preview this again. And I think we left it as the satin stitch. Well, I don't care for the satin stitch on this design. I did on the flower that I brought in using the applique method. That's
Barbara,
exactly what I wanted to do.
Zoom out so we can see the whole screen there. There you go.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
No, you're good.
There we
go. Perfect. Thank you.
Yeah. So when I brought in the flower that was built into the machine and it didn't quite catch the outside, this is exactly what I did with that flower. Is I outlined it, and let me pull it up. Let me get it off the floor. I outlined it using my design center and then put a heavier outline around it. You can see that this is what it tried to put around it, and I had little fuzzies and I didn't want that. So I actually went back in and I put the heavier stitch around it, and it caught all the fuzzies and made it really clean and nice.
That is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, there's another trick too. And if we have time, we'll get to it. If not, that's another episode. Okay, but there's another trick to separating the two colors as well in my design center. All right. So let's go back to this. Let's look at our line choices. Now, don't forget, and this is this little button over here. Can you, whoops, sorry. And we're going to pull in a little bit. This icon right here, there's 10 more line properties. So don't forget that. People, every time I go to a show or I go to a dealer and I touch that, people say, whoa. What was that? What did you do? Because they haven't discovered that little secret button. But that'll give you 10 more line properties. And these are really very, very cool. You can use them in all sorts of different ways. And I appliqued a little panel or I can't even remember. It was a Halloween panel. And I used every single one of these in one way or another on the pumpkins and on the little kitty. So, some of it outlined the eyes, some of it did the grass. So it was really very cool. But that is under this button right here. And it doesn't show up until you actually touch it. All right.
I would love to know everyone watching this that has been commenting. Everyone's been commenting about my design center because there's so much that can do. And I think a lot of people haven't experienced it all. This is such a great tutorial, but I would love to know if you knew about all of those extra lines in there. I know there's extra fills, but the line one, there's always a few people are like, oh my gosh, that's my you're wow moment.
That's exactly what happens when I'm at the shows or at a dealer. It's really kind of funny to see the reaction on the faces. We're going to do the blanket stitch because I thought that would be the appropriate one. But what I wanted to show you, and I'm going to zoom in a little bit. We're going to change some of the parameters here and stay. Okay, good. We are going to change the length of the spoke that goes in onto the fabric. So that is the length here. This is the depth of your spoke. So we're going to change it to, let's make it 180. So you can really, really see the difference. But watch what happens when I touch OK and it does its little calculation. You can really see how that got a lot bigger, right? I really like the depth. I might even go to 200. 220. Let's go to 220. There we go. Oh, that looks good. That really covers a nice amount. I like that. Okay, this one is how far apart those spokes are. So we can go in here and say, I don't want it. And these are in millimeters, don't forget. So I don't want it that far apart. Let me go down, let's say 160 millimeters. So now it's going to be closer together. See that? So it is a lot closer. The third one down here is how many times it's going to stitch in the spoke before it goes on to the next one. All right. So you can go up to 5, I think. 5, 3, or 1. So those are your choices. I pretty much leave it at 3 because it turns out pretty nice. And this one again, anytime you have a design that can be either inside or outside, supposing you were doing letters, you would want the inside of your B or your P to be a different angle. In other words, you need to just turn it inside out, and that would be your fourth choice down here. So the inside of your letters would be this one, where the outside of the letters would be this one. Clear as mud, right?
Yep.
Okay. So we're going to say okay, and I'm ready to stitch. So we can start our stitching, and I have already committed this to memory. I'm going to commit it to memory again.
I'm going to have you zoom out just a little bit, Barbara.
So I'm sorry.
Pressing down there.
Whoa, wrong way.
Because I know there's some people that are watching. And by the way, if you're watching this on Facebook, be sure to share it to your own page. It's really easy to find that way. On YouTube, right. All of these episodes are in a row. You can binge watch for days, but you'll want to share this one or like it. And that way you can find it again if you want to watch this from beginning to end.
Cool.
All right.
Okay, so I did save it. I am a saver, because if I got to the embroidery side and I saw something that I didn't like and I had not saved it, it's gone. So once I turn this without saving it, I can't go back and edit it from an embroidery file. So it's going to take it from a design file here and transfer it to an embroidery file, and which is fine. But I always save. I can always get rid of it later. But if I want to go back and edit anything, it's saved for me to do that. So we're going to touch set. It's reminding you here that it's going to be converted to an embroidery pattern, and my design center will be exited. So this is a reminder for you to save it. If you want to save it, if you hadn't saved it and you want to go back, just cancel this and go back and save it and then come back in here. But we did save it. So I'm going to say, okay. Now, I typically do not ever just stitch this. I will go back in and I will go up to the top where the camera is, right here, up at the top. And I'm going to scan one more time just to be sure that my design is going to fit where I think it should. Just a double check. That's all it is. It's your last chance to adjust anything, size or placement, or you know,
Like speak now or forever hold your peace.
right. Right.
This is
So
very
cool. And it doesn't.
There's a few more questions rolling in. We'll take those here in just a second. So know that I saw them.
All righty. I'm going to switch cameras so that they can see the stitch out, if that's okay with you.
That's great.
Okay. And I like what I see. I don't see any problem with any placement of the blanket stitch. So, it would help if I had thread in my machine. I went and picked thread, and do you think I didn't thread it up? So we're going to do a real quick threading, and then we're going to go. So what questions were there?
I just love this project. I'm going to bring Joanne up here too. Hey, Joanne,
Okay.
this is such a great way to make bags for anything. I mean, number one, if we have to use them for shopping, I definitely need big bags.
Right. We would all be guilty of being bag ladies, right? Any bag ladies out there, raise your thumb. Lots of bags. This is just incredible though. My, oh my. I love it. I love it.
You might want to mute me, but I'm going to start stitching.
You know, I'm not going to mute you because I think that machine is so quiet. You can have a video camera right up to it and you still can hardly hear it. It's absolutely amazing. So
I think you're right.
It is.
I'll bring Lois up here. Lois wants to know, can she go back and adjust a line in the outline now to smooth a portion, or do you have to start all over? How does that work?
Okay, yes, you can, as long as you saved it in My Design Center, you can go back and you can edit the design that you first drew.
That's awesome. You know, Joanne, I don't know about you, but we both use My Design Center quite frequently. And, you know, every time I see another tutorial on My Design Center, there's something that I forgot about or something I'm like, oh my gosh, I forgot about. I love how that line where you just make little spots, because sometimes if you're trying to do it just right, you make it look so easy, Barbara.
Well, I think with the mouse and with that line properties, it is. Now this is bumping into the screen I have in the back, so it's going to be a little off.
Well, I don't think anybody has done as much with My Design Center as Barbara Jones has.
Thanks,
I am sure that is a true statement. She is just the queen of My Design Center for sure.
I live in two places in my brother world, and that's My Design Center and Photo Stitch.
Well, and you know, for those
design.
of you that are new to watching Brothers shows, or maybe you haven't seen Barbara's previous shows, I can think of 3 off the top of my head tutorials that we've had over the last few months that show other aspects of My Design Center where you can follow from beginning to end. She actually took a scan from the machine over to the scan and cut. So if you want to go back through, just go back through and look for her name, because a lot of them, they're just so informative. It's just very good. All right, so Mary.
I'm going to stop this and just bring this a little closer so that you can see how cool that stitching is.
Wow, just gorgeous.
Beautiful. So not only is it ironed on with the contact sheet, but it's now stitched down, and I can put anything I want on top of this, like I did with the original bag. I went into the shapes and I actually put the extra little designs on top of it to add something. You know, you just keep building. Nice.
Oh, I just love this. All the thumbs up. Joanne, you asked for thumbs up for the bag ladies. I think you've got a whole
bag ladies.
brother bag ladies. So
We
we'll
should
call
do
it.
a count your bag contest one of these days.
I would be still counting.
I think I would be in there too. Hey, a few people are asking, is there any special kind of mouse that you have to use? No.
Yes, I'm going to say yes,
Okay.
because it it cannot be a fancy mouse. It cannot be a mouse that is wireless. It has to be a wired mouse. Okay, it has to have a wire to it. I would say on the bottom of this, the power rating was 5 volt. I'm sorry, 5 volts
Okay.
and 40 amp. I ordered 3 or 4 from big box, whatever, and 2 of them worked. 2 of them I sent back. So cheaper mouse. A lot of people go to the big box stores and get a $6 mouse, and they work fine.
Okay.
So,
That is good to know. Actually, I was always just thinking wired. I forgot. There's the
no,
Bluetooth and all the other ones don't go that route.
I had a very expensive wired mouse that didn't work. It's too much for the machine. It
Well,
needs a
that's really
simple signal. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Brenda,
I tried a small one. I had a travel size
hmm
that plugged in, and that one didn't work. So
Yeah.
you
Yeah. You
need
got
just
it.
a good old fashioned.
Yep. Not
good old
nothing fancy. I did find a travel one that did work, but again,
Okay.
it has to be a lower, lower ampage, lower wattage.
Good to
Everybody's
know.
loving this. So if anybody has questions for Barbara, keep rolling those in. Everybody's saying yes, they love it. And we have a lot of bag ladies. So all right. So why don't we take a break and have Joanne, why don't you show us the free design of the month? Because now, did all of you remember, I tried to remind you on every live show, and then we didn't have live shows last week. Did everyone remember to download your free design from last month? Because it's too late.
I hope you all got that pretty butterfly, because that was a nice little design last month. So here's what we've got for the free design of the month project this month. And the design is actually just one of these single kind of like an emblem, and it just, to me, it looked very masculine, and I thought, wouldn't that look great to make that into a frame shape and surround it, with a monogram letter and turn it into a desk tray for my hubby. So he likes this kind of colors go good in his room that we call it the book nook, because he likes to go read books in there. But this would look great on a desk. It's a great catch-all, for clutter, keys, cell phone, whatever. And of course, I made it for a Dad's Day project, but you could do this with other colors, and it would be great for all kinds of different gifts. I'm thinking about doing one as a graduation gift using school colors, and making that for one of my great nephews. But it looks great in lots of different colors. So I think, Angela, you got a couple slides that we can just show, and I can just talk through a couple quick things there.
I do, actually. As you're talking, I'm looking down on my desk.
Oh, yeah.
People brought me these as gifts. I don't know if Janet's on here today, but little gifts. I love these. I have them in every size. These are like the best thing ever.
They're wonderful. And of course, yours was done with snaps on the side. And that's a great method. And that's actually one of the alternatives I was going to talk about. I did mine by sewing the edge, because this is never going to be traveled with. So it's just going to stay on the desk just the way it is. But if you like the kind that you can lay flat and you can, store them or take them when you travel, then you can do the snaps on there, if you're familiar with using some of those different kinds of snaps. But so there's the design I created, and I did it using, again, my design center, Brother Luminaire. I used the fill patterns to create that diamond grid line, and then I created another outline around that. And you'll see in the step-by-step instructions, I actually did everything in 3 parts. So I created the monogram design first, And by the way, I will tell you, I have on my website on letsgosew.com, I posted a blog and I added a video tutorial where I showed how I used the grouping feature in the Luminaire in order to create those perfectly symmetrical designs that are surrounding that letter. So you might want to check that out. But in this case, like I said, I did it in 3 parts. So I did the monogram with the frames, saved that. Then I did the diamond frame, saved that. And then I did a third design for the outline. Now there's ways to combine it. Barb will be the first to agree that you can do all of this in more than one way. So don't think that whatever way that I might be showing it might be the only way, but it's just for written steps. Sometimes I like to break things down and do it one at a time so that you can do that, get that process done. And then it also helps too, because if you're saving something and you want to go back later, you've got all those different parts that you can use in different ways. Because, this center monogram design would be great for matching coasters too, or some other type of piece, maybe a pillow. You can make a whole matching set if you want to do something like that. So I used the Old English style font on the first one. And then the second one is just showing you that if you didn't want to make that frame with the 4 pieces, you could do just 2, and that would obviously fit in a smaller hoop. But you need the Luminaire. You want the Luminaire in order to do that wonderful or a similar machine with the My Design Center features, because that just creates a really, really great background. And I used the big, I think this would go across my whole body. I think the 10 5/8 by 16-inch hoop so that I could lay everything inside there and have all of my vinyl stuck to my stabilizer. So it is an in the hoop project the way I show doing it. So you're going to do the first vinyl piece on top, and certain steps. All the instructions tell you what to do. And then you'll be flipping your hoop over in order to attach that second piece. And that's for the final outline. So it's really easy to do and a lot of fun.
I love this design. It's very, very pretty. I think this is going to be a great project because I'm always having a tough time to come up with stuff for Father's Day, for Win, for anything like that. And he will love this on the boat.
It's classy. It's very classy.
And with a
upholstery vinyl. So, you might, this might be, I hesitated to say marine vinyl because marine vinyl can come in different thicknesses. I would say you want something that's about under 2 millimeters thick for that single layer. So just watch for that. You take your little measuring tool and measure those millimeters when you're shopping for that vinyl. But there are a lot of options. Faux leather. I actually even did one out of felt, believe it or not, just to see what it was like. And it's not anywhere near as elegant, but it works. You need something that doesn't fray, because you're going to trim those edges at the end. And by the way, the best way to trim this is not with scissors. You want to use a rotary cutting tool, the ruler and the mat, and a rotary cutter that you don't use on regular fabric. I have one rotary cutter that I use exclusively for paper, vinyl, felt, and then it doesn't get dulled, and to the point where I would be using it on fabric and then it might snag. So
that sounds good.
Any questions for me?
Everybody's just saying they love this. I see somebody saying, where do I go to get these designs if I want last month's? Well, you can still, I'm sure that design stuff that they can purchase?
Yeah, they're all on Embroidery for purchase. But the thing is, Brother gives you one design that coordinates with the free design of the month project every month, totally for free. And you have a month to download it. But the smartest thing to do is go early, go and get it early. And then you have it, because as soon as the month gets to the end, and the end could be a different time where you are than it is where somebody else is, then it, that design goes away and a new one will come up. But they're still available for purchase on Embroidery, all of the previous designs.
Great. And I'll bring that website up right here Embroidery.com. That's where you go. And you can also visit the Brother blog and go back and you can see all the projects. So if you end up purchasing one of the designs that are not free anymore, you can still learn how to do that project, which is great.
Absolutely. It's all archived. Everything is archived on there. So
So
there you can see that I just, layered it in the hoop with cutaway stabilizer. And then the second piece just shows how I taped the back piece on there. And I do recommend using the temporary adhesive spray in addition to tape. This type of vinyl actually has a fabric-like background, and it does take well to the temporary adhesive spray, and that'll help keep it in place. And then my other tip for you is whatever you do, test your tape. It's always best to test, right? You've heard me say that a million times. Test your tape anytime you use it on any item. Test your tape and see if it's going to, damage it at all. But even tape that is easily removable, you don't want to leave it there. Like I wouldn't do this and then go away for a couple hours and come back, because that tape being on there for a period of time could leave a residue. So always check for that too.
Sounds good. I'm just checking to see if there's a few. Everyone's just saying they love this. They love the project. I do too. You always come up with the super fun stuff. All right. So tell us what this is, Joanne.
Well, there I just I'm showing if you were to make this maybe in a size that didn't fit your hoop or whatever, you could actually do the diamond stitching manually by using the nonstick roller foot, which is a really wonderful foot. And then the quilt guide, which actually goes into the back end of your normal standard shank that attaches all of your snap-on feet to your machine. And then that way, then you can embroider on top of that and create something similar. It does take a lot more time. It's wonderful to have the features in the Luminaire and have the My Design Center, have the big hoop, and create that diamond work design and just press start and all that's done automatically for you. But I did bring the foot because I wanted to show you. This is probably one of the things that I would say a lot of people don't realize that they have as something available. This quilt guide is sold separately in Brother Accessory World, and most people think of using it with the walking foot because the walking foot has a hole in the back of the foot for this to slip into. But did you know, this will be a did you know day, did you know you actually have a hole right here in your standard shank on every Brother that I've seen, and that can slide right into there, and then you can use that to space lines of stitching, whether it's decorative stitching or straight stitching, whatever distance you want from the needle to that guide, you will get exact stitching. So for quilting, for, like I said, for decorative stitching, all kinds of different things.
That's awesome. There was a quick question here. I think it was, let me see who that was. Oh, hey, Janet. Janet is up here. But
thanks, Janet.
And
I do have a question about the needle. Is that the one you were looking for?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's
you know what? I used my embroidery needle for embroidering it, and I ended up leaving that needle in the machine. I think the whole time. I don't think I recommended another needle. Oh, I did. I did say size 14 sharp needle for sewing the corners of the tray initially when I did it, but I will tell you that I made a second tray and used the embroidery needle, and it worked just fine. So no problem.
Awesome. This turned out so cute. So let's see, it's June 6th. You've got the rest of the month, 3 weeks to go download this. And also while we were talking here, I did bring up a couple of promotions because a lot of times there are different things that Brother dealers are offering. So first of all, I see some people saying they're waiting for a Luminaire. There is 0% financing. So I brought that up. I got this from Brother today. I thought I would share that with you because you never know. Maybe somebody's going to get a gift for summer or buy something for yourself.
Right.
Everybody's saying this is so fun. Oh, you're welcome, Sharon. You're welcome.
I see a question from Lois that I might be able to address really quick. This guide, this particular quilt guide is only for the standard walking foot. The Move It foot, which we all love, has its own separate set of guides, and it actually comes with 2 in the set. It comes with a right guide and a left guide, because you can use this on both sides of the foot, but if you use it on the opposite side, you actually have to use it upside down. It's really designed to go this way. For the Move It foot, they created a special set. Actually, I have it right here. Grab it. So Lois, you need to get a different set for that. You got one that looks like this, and you have one that looks like something else. I'd have to dig for that one.
You're doing better than I would, Joanne. I wouldn't be able to
Well, I
find
just
it.
happen to have that close by. So
I was thinking the same thing,
Same
Joanne.
thing.
You're really organized, because I was thinking, okay, I would have to go in a different drawer over there.
I have
did
all
just
of
come
all of
across
those particular accessories in one spot. So
This is fantastic. So by the way, if you do share your projects, you can see above, use hashtag Brother Sews, Brother Scan and Cut, any of the projects. They love that. And I know some of you wanted to know, in case you missed Joanne's website for that extra blog post she was talking about. So I put all of our websites down below. This has been an awesome, I can't believe our hour's already up. This has been just a great tutorial and free design. What a great combo.
And my puppy is now chewing on the ribbon from the hat.
oh no.
You know,
Oh, Barb.
Barbara, I thought I could hear your dog, and you said just stay. And I think you're talking to the camera, but I thought maybe you're talking to the dog. I wasn't sure.
Well, your demo was wonderful, Barb. I enjoyed every
Thanks,
minute
Joanne.
of it. It was great. Your projects are always beautiful.
Thank
It's
you.
always great to see what you're stitching.
Thank
Always.
you.
And Joanne, you knocked it out of the park
Yes,
again with the free
again.
design of the month. Love it.
I think it's a fun one. It's a fun
Yes.
one to do.
All right,
And easy
everyone.
to sew those corners. I always have a problem with the snaps. So
Yeah,
that's another-
yeah. I actually like the sewn corners.
Yeah.
I've done that several times, because it's just, you're right. And then if somebody pulls the snaps too hard and they fall apart, then their tray's no good anymore. So
Anyway,
I'm a little,
yeah, right.
when in doubt, stitch it down,
Stitch
right?
it
It won't
down,
ever go
right.
anywhere.
There you go. When in doubt. That sounds good. All right, ladies, this was fantastic. And all of you, we so appreciate you here joining us. We missed you last week, but we are back. And by the way, we have another live show on Thursday. You're going to get to meet Chris Talk. Have you watched any of the side hustle videos? This guy is amazing. He's going to be on at noon on Thursday. You'll get to meet him and ask questions. He's going to be featuring the 10 needle. Who doesn't love that?
Right.
Wow. It's so good to
excellent.
see everybody today. You too.
Absolutely.
It has been.
All right. Bye, everyone. Thank you.
Happy
Bye.
sewing.